Hey everybody, and welcome to TalkChain, the podcast where we get into all things crypto. Today we're going to talk about the Starbucks chairman hinting at using blockchain for a payment app. We're also going to talk about the comments that Bill Gates made on his Reddit Ask Me Anything, and if there's any basis to them. So today, crypto market cap is around 340 billion. Not much to say, a little bit of a downtrend right now. If I look at my favorite TA, it looks like the previous support that I had here is becoming resistance, and this previous resistance is sort of becoming support. So we're sort of in uncharted territory in my opinion. I'm not sure where we're going to go. I think we need some sort of fundamental change or fundamental news to come out before we see any significant moves to the upside or downside. I'm not buying anything here. Gonna wait to see if it sorts itself out, but I think it is exciting to watch. The next trend line I would draw here is look for this kind of guy and watch for a bounce off maybe around 10,000 again, but I really think we're going to see a lot of chop from here on out until we see some sort of fundamental news come in. So anyway, that's my my little TA spiel, and let's move on to our topics for today. So today, the Starbucks chairman hinted at using blockchain as part of their payment app in the future, and it's kind of speculative. Part of me thinks that he's just pandering to people that are in crypto right now. So it's he said probably that it would use blockchain, so he didn't even confirm that they would use blockchain. But I think he's hinted previously to using cryptocurrencies or accepting cryptocurrencies as a payment. And he said this a few months ago. Rob and I mentioned it in a previous video. And he said that Bitcoin wouldn't be part of them and that he wants to use a cryptocurrency that is legitimized by a brick and mortar establishment. And I think there's something to that, in that, you know, using a crypto that has a reputation of being trusted is important. A lot of these cryptocurrencies, though, have a trust and confidence system built into them already. So for him to sort of say that they need a brick and mortar establishment, I don't think means anything. Maybe because he's in the retail business, he feels that everybody should have some sort of brick and mortar establishment, but I don't know, it might just be his bias. But he did say that the blockchain technology is probably the rails in which an integrated app at Starbucks will be sitting on top of. So I don't know if it's particularly a big improvement to their current system if they have some sort of payment app already. It's nice that he wants to use blockchain technology in future things that they do. I don't know if it's any big innovation for them as being like a better payment app than another app if they use blockchain, given that it's a company issuing it. But I think that it's nice to see more adoption and more use of the technology rather than any specific coin. So I think that he sees the retail business as needing to expand outside of just the retail stores themselves. So he had an interesting quote here. The real question in any brick and mortar retailer these days is, how do you become relevant outside your stores as you have inside? So I think in this way, they're trying to find an audience as much as they can outside the store. And for some reason, and I'm not too sure why, but he sees the cryptocurrency users as a sort of group of people that he wants to attract. And, you know, I love coffee personally. Starbucks is okay with me, so I'm happy to be pandered to. And if they start accepting a cool cryptocurrency that I can pay with, I'm just as happy to use it whenever I go. So kind of neat, and we'll see how this develops and if he actually does start to accept crypto as a payment system. That's the first thing I'm going to look for. All right, the next thing I want to talk about is Bill Gates. So Bill Gates, the former CEO of Microsoft, did a Reddit Ask Me Anything yesterday, and he got a question about cryptocurrency, and he said that it is killing people in a fairly direct way. Now, for him to say that, I think is kind of funny, because I don't know if there's been a direct death due to blockchain technology. I don't think I've seen the courts go after blockchain for a murder or for anything like that, but he says that it's revolutionizing financial crime, terrorism, drug dealing, and thus killing people. So I wanted to look into this a little bit, and I found a couple articles. So the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime have estimated that the global amount of money laundered is about 2 to 5% of global GDP, or about 800 billion to 2 billion in current US dollars. So that is a lot, and that's per year. So to think that the cryptocurrency markets are responsible for any portion of this, I think, is a huge exaggeration. I don't know why Bill Gates, I don't know why anybody really focuses on this more than they do things like cash as being a particularly good vehicle for laundering money. So another article I found was that there's a report, it's been out for a while, that says that potentially less than 1% of all Bitcoin transactions are involved in money laundering. Clearly this article might have a bias, but if we look at the total market cap of all crypto, we're not at 500 billion yet. So, even if it is 10%, it's $40 billion. That's a drop in the bucket of this $800 billion in US dollars of money laundering that goes on every year. So for people to throw crypto under the bus, I think is completely ludicrous, and it's only spreading more fear and uncertainty in everybody. So that's his biggest problem that Bill Gates seems to have. He says the government's ability to find money laundering and tax evasion and terrorist funding is a good thing. I agree with him. If government has a role, it's to protect his citizens and to make sure that they have a funding mechanism to support certain things. I think Bill Gates has he seems to have a soft spot for government these days. I don't think he would have been so pro-government when he was being sued as CEO of Microsoft when they were dealing with the antitrust lawsuits. And when it comes to his pandering for government, if you remember, and this article brings it up, that he was advocating for Apple to have a backdoor into their iPhones just in case the governments want to use that backdoor. And I personally disagree with that fundamentally, just given that I don't think the government should have a role in having access to any of your technological devices without permission. But Bill Gates doesn't seem to have a problem with that, and he also thinks that it's very important that they find money laundering and things like that. But if you look at it, cash is still a very easy way to launder money, and that's obviously true just given the stats that I gave about money laundering yearly. What else? So the one thing that I did agree with Bill about this is that he thinks that the speculative wave around ICOs and cryptocurrencies is risky for those who go long, and I think it's hard to disagree with him there. There's obviously been a lot of pump and dumps, a lot of coins have failed. Rob and I did a video a couple days ago about the almost half of 2017 cryptocurrency, or half of 2017 ICOs have already failed. And it's only March, just about March in 2018, so it's definitely speculative play, but I don't think that's a surprise to anybody. So I'm with him there. I am not so much with him about crypto being a primary use for buying drugs and laundering money. So with that, guys, I want to thank you very much for watching. Gonna wrap it up. Short video today, but Rob and I will be back tomorrow with more in crypto adventures. So please subscribe, like, leave me a comment, let me know what you think about Starbucks or Bill Gates. Let me know where I'm wrong. I'd love to hear it. And follow us on Twitter at TalkChainPod. And thank you very much for watching. And please tell a friend. If you got somebody who's new to crypto and wants to get into it, link in one of our videos, and hopefully that gets them on board. And with that, gonna wrap it up. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you next time.